Revolutionary greetings, comrades. We hope you are okay wherever you are. The Zimbabwe Communist Party launched its Red October campaign in 2019 under the theme, Know Your Neighbor, Build Your Community. When we said, Know Your Neighbor, Build Your Community, we were not focusing only on the members of the Zimbabwe Communist Party. We were focusing on our communities, urban and rural. And when we said, know your neighbor, this meant that as neighbors, we need to know each other. We need to begin to work together. And they said, build your community. Our community should be built by us. We should not expect that the government or any other person or NGOs or anyone will come and build our communities. The building of our communities is our responsibility. So this is why we still run with this campaign, Know Your Neighbor, Build Your Community. But of course, there are communities which we will speak to a particular community now. We do not claim that it is us that are leading these communities. No, as communities, we don't mislead, we don't tell lies, we speak the truth to power. So we cannot say when communities are organized and then claim that it is us that organized them. Ours is to appreciate what communities are doing. And this also inspires other communities out there to work together. So in this particular video, which is the first part, and the second part will be doing an interview. So in the first part of the video, we are inspired by the community in Bulilima in Zimbabwe. Bulilima is bordering a western part of Zimbabwe. We border with Botswana. So the community there in Bulilima Mangwe, that is to say the people of Bulilima Mangwe came together, raised monies. I was talking to some of these community members. They were contributing about 13,500 rands. And the majority of these members of this community who came together to establish a club or a cooperative, as we would call it, are domestic workers in South Africa. And the majority of them are ZEP holders. So from last year in August, that is last year, that is in 2021, they started raising monies. Each person was meant to raise 13,500. Some community members are in South Africa, the majority of whom are domestic workers. Of course, some are overseas, some are in Zimbabwe. They raised about 128,000 US dollars to buy a borehole truck machinery. You know that truck that you install a borehole drilling machinery. They bought that in Zimbabwe, 128,000 US dollars. These members, they live in Bulilima Mangwe. They did not want to buy this truck in South Africa because they knew that it was going to be a challenge to take it to Zimbabwe, to pay the duties, to apply to government, if government will grant them a free duty, and so forth. So they decided to buy in Bulawayo 128,000 US dollars. The next step, which they will explain in the next video, is to do the survey. They've already engaged the services of a surveyor in their rural communities. And they want to then drill boreholes in their own homes. These members were told there are over 200. So over 200 members from Bulilima Mangwe coming together to raise 128,000 US dollars to buy that tracking borehole equipment to drill. Now they are raising money which of course they've already paid the surveyor but they will explain in the next video. Each person now is to buy the pipes. It is going to depend on how deep one's borehole is going to be. It now depends on the area where the person is. They expect that once they start drilling, it will take them 2 months to complete the drilling of this borehole in over 200 homes in Bulilima, Mangwe. You know that Matebele South we have serious water problems. One of the members that I was speaking to over the weekend, who is part of this project or cooperative, says he walks about over a kilometer or so to get water, to draw water from a community borehole. So you can imagine the distance of going to draw water from the community borehole. Now, this member, this comrade is part of this cooperative, and the water is going to be drilled in his home. This is why the Zimbabwe Communist Party says, know your neighbor, build your community. We must come together as communities and develop our own communities. Because these members, as we were discussing over the weekend, they were saying to me, Comrade Mapena, you know, we're ordinary people that came together to raise each month. Some will maybe put 1,000 or 1,200, sometimes 900, because we work as domestic workers in South Africa. If they say the payments, this is what they were saying, if the grace period comes to an end in June 2023 and they are not renewed, they were saying, well, Comrade Mapena will go back to Zimbabwe and start a new life, because now they will be having water in their homes. They will then begin to run their own irrigation schemes in their homes. They are raising money to buy the pipes, to buy the solar equipment, so that when the company comes, their cooperative, the truck, they drill the borehole, they will then install this modern borehole in their homes, so that they will have access to water, water for home use, water for agricultural purposes. And there are many projects that they can do. I was talking to other comrades. You remember, I think it was last year or so, when we also spoke about the comrades that had come together to buy a tracking borehole machinery in South Africa. And when I was discussing with one comrade, I was saying, look, while this is a progressive, but when you get into a cooperative that is national, it has its own challenges. So we encourage communities to come together, whether at a ward, constituents, or district level, to do a project together, because geographically you are in one area. While it is good that you buy a tracking machinery, but you can imagine a truck to drill in Pinga, it has to go and drill in Chimanimani. Look at the distance. But if you organize yourselves like they have done in Bulilima, Mangwe, they are very close to each other. So they can start, say, drilling for those that are in Tegwane. I know that place very well. They do that in Tombodema up to Ndolwan. And then it get up to what's the name of the chief there? Sanguluba, Chief Sanguluba. I know him. I used to meet him there in Mangwe. So it's important. This is an important step that the comrades have taken as communities. It does not matter which political party you belong to. We must stress this. We must, as communities, learn to work together as communities. Whether you are a member of the Zimbabwe Communist Party, you are a member of ZANU-PF, you are a member of CCC, you are a member of ZAPU, let's work together to build our communities. Know your neighbor, build your community. Because the work, the development taking place in the community, it benefits you, it benefits your children, it benefits the next generation. This is why, as the Zimbabwe Communist Party, we encourage all of us, know your neighbor. Know who your neighbor is. It's important. What is it that you can do with your neighbor? Then together, let's build our communities. If we have the power to build our communities, to come together to establish these cooperatives and build our communities, we have the power to decide on who becomes our public representative. We identify a person in our ward and they say, we want you to be a councillor in our ward. We want you to be a member of parliament. Comrade Fabio Nkomo, the Treasurer General of the Zimbabwe Communist Party, always says, Comrade Mapena, if people want me to stand as their public representative, it means the people are going to lead my campaign. I don't have to pay anyone to campaign for me. I don't have to buy anyone freebies and so forth, because it is the people that have taken a decision that I should be their public representative, whether a councillor in Nkulumane or a member of parliament for Nkulumane. This is what our Treasurer General always says to me. Because he understands that the power is with the communities. The challenge that we have allowed the thieves, as Comrade Solima Paila of the SICP would say, in the context, of course, we're talking in the context of saying ANC has been taken over by thieves. But in our communities, we've allowed the thieves to get elected because we're influenced by the freebies that they give to us on election day or in the build-up to an election. And the genuine comrades or genuine people in our communities do not get to be elected because we are now listening to someone who comes to the community with a bag of money, with a truck full of goodies, and says, I want to be your councillor, I want to be your member of parliament. We then elect such individual. And once we elect such individual, the person will disappear, we'll see them again after 5 years, when they come again with a truck full of goodies. And then we get bribed by that. So when we speak about know your neighbor, build your community, we are saying in the community we must know the people that we work with, the people that we stay with, so that we know that when we elect Comrade Ngabuto Mapena to be our public representative, is part of us in the community. We should avoid electing thieves who, in the most part, they simply become tourist public representatives. They simply come to visit. They are not part of the communities. This is why the Zimbabwe Communist Party says, know your neighbor, build your communities. So we will, in the next video, interview the spokesperson of this progressive cooperative, that over a year or so, they came together, raised $128,000. They bought this truck, the drilling with the drilling machinery for boreholes, and very soon, once they complete the paperwork and so forth, they will start drilling. Please write your comments on how, in your own community, you are contributing to the building of your own community. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Otherwise, Amandla Comrades. Goodbye.